Hello, welcome to Scrap Time episode 960. My name is Christine and on today's episode I'm showing you the Pigment iZink inks. Today I am showing you these Pigment iZink inks. They're by Aladine, but they're distributed by Clearsnap. And you can do a lot of neat techniques, so I'm going to show you what I made with them. So here are two art journal pages, but I made them at the same time. And I used the inks to make this really fun, colorful background. Then I also sprayed on some texture with the inks. And then I used the ink straight out of the bottle to make these flowers. And finally, I painted on some of the stems and the border and did a few splatters with the inks as well. So I'm going to show you basically how to do these steps, but on a card. So I have my watercolor card here, and I'm going to use the pink, yellow, and orange, and I'm just going to give them a shake first to make sure the pigment gets all shooken up. So the great thing about these inks is when they dry, they're permanent. So you can put on a color if you wanted to, and then let it dry, and then apply another color over top. And they won't be all that browny color. It'll still stay true to their colors. I'm going to start by just putting a little barrier of water down on my card first. It's just so when I put the inks on, they won't absorb right into the paper instantly. So it comes with these little droppers right within the bottles. And then I can even spray it again. So you can see that one with a bit more in the water, how it just starts to spread out. And then now I'm going to put on the pink. And these also have a bit of what do you call it? Not glitter, but that shine to it. So I'm going to just swish it around so that some of those colors go all over. Now what I'd like to do is take a second card and put it right over top. Put it in there. And now I have two backgrounds from my inks. And I can put that color . I can even go back and pick up some of this color, dip it in. So it's best to do this on a craft mat like usual, just so you can play with the colors. I'm going to wipe this up now. Okay, so I am going to dry these cards before we move on to our next step. So my backgrounds are now dry, and you can see even though I mixed it in with the water, it still gives you a really nice, intense color. So the other thing you can do is you can make these into spray mists. So I've made one here. It's just water and the color. I'm just going to add in a little bit more of the pigment. And I'm going to give it a good shake, get that pigment mixed in. And I'm just going to spray it a couple times on my paper towel to get that darker blue coming through. Okay. Now, Clearsnap has come out with some color box art screens. I have a few here. I have some hearts, some wavy lines, and a big flower. So I'm going to use those just to add a little bit more texture to my background. So you spray it, but then of course you want to take this and stamp it off. Every little bit will add to it. So here with the flower, I can put a light little flower design and then just stamp it off over here. So even though it's just little lines like that, it's not a full flower, it still adds that little bit of texture to your background. So I'm going to leave it like that for the stenciling, and I'm just going to give it a quick dry. Okay, so now I'm going to add my flowers. And I did this right out of the bottle. So, oops. I think this first one I might do orange, pink, and blue. So what I did was I took my dropper, and if I do this as the middle, and I just did circles like that with the orange. And then just putting them in circles. And you can make your flowers as small or as big as you want. Just sort of like that. Set this on a side, and I'm just going to, I feel a little bit of wet. Here I can make a little yellow. And orange. No, let's do, I don't want to put the orange beside the blue. I'm going to do pink. And then maybe I'll do it just two. So pink. And an orange. So I am going to dry those so then we can do a quick little doodle over them. So now I just want to add a little bit of doodle to my flowers, and I'm just basically drawing circles around each. So a few circles, very wonky, sketchy, doodly, nothing. If you want, you can even add just a few little lines. Like that. So now I'm going to add the stems. I'm just going to turn it the other way so I can see what I'm doing. I'm using a Molotov acrylic paint marker to do this. I love to use it because I find it will write over basically anything. So like that. So then I can take my palette paper and I can put down some green. And a little paintbrush and just paint in the stems a bit and the leaves. I need just a touch more. Oops, I got it all over my hand. 1 second. So there we have that. And then even I can take some black with my brush, and you just lightly tap it. You don't want to go too crazy or else you get splatters everywhere. It just adds a little bit of black splatters, which I think adds a nice little touch to the card. Let me put some on here. Then if you wanted, you can add a greeting message, or just leave it like that. So there are 2 cards I made using the Pigment iZinks, and we did a background, we did a misting with them, we used them direct from the bottle, and we painted with them. So there's a lot of things you can do with this great new product. Well, that's it for today's episode. Be sure to check out our website at www.scraptime.ca. And on our next episode, I'm showing you some new colors of Ranger alcohol inks. So please join us. Thanks for watching Scrap Time.